Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing? Love the way you look in the mirror and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from createyourself.today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Oh God, today I slept for probably somewhere around 8.5 hours. And the headache and muscle tension I felt the day before, they went away it's like a miracle. I feel like a completely different person coming up with so many ideas and things that I want to do that I feel like a genius and just something of a divine inspiration stroke through me, and now I'm that completely different person. The night before, by the way, I didn't sleep really well, and I have a few ideas why that happened. But anyhow, today's is all about sleep. Today is all about sleep. I asked a lot of you guys on my Instagram, those of you who follow me on Instagram, about your sleep. How many hours you sleep and what prevents you from sleeping 8 hours. And almost none of you sleep for 8 hours. It's more like 6 to 7 hours. Guys, think about the next thing. You have 5 fingers on each of your hands. Do you ever think like you could be okay with just 3 or 4 fingers on each hand or on just one hand? Like you don't really need 5? Do you ever think like that? Probably not, because you are using all of your 5 fingers. But it's equally ridiculous, even though it might not be that obvious to you guys. But once you experience the difference, it will become obvious. Believe me, I did that. I slept for 6 hours for probably like a decade before I started sleeping 8 hours. And now that I feel the difference and I see the difference, I'm never going to go back. Like never, ever. But anyhow, you cannot imagine your life with just 3 or 4 fingers because you are using your fingers. But it's equally ridiculous to think that the nature would need just you to sleep just whatever hours you want to sleep, like 5 or 6 or 7, when in reality you need 8 hours. Like it would be ridiculous to think that this is a mistake of nature or an experiment of nature. You know, evolution doesn't make mistakes because those mistakes are expensive and deadly. Especially when we were cavemen, when we were sleeping, we were really fragile, and anything could happen to us, especially during the night when we are designed to sleep. So sleep is a very important part of our life. And what all studies show, they actually do a lot of studies on people when it comes to sleep. Sleep affects 8 hours of sleep is not optional. This is the requirement for all of species if you are a human being. And probably if you're listening to this podcast, you are a human being. You're not a monkey, you're not an elephant, unless you have an elephant who happened to listen to this too. Anyhow, guys, as long as you're a human being, you need 8 hours. They studied people, a lot of people, and from all the studies, it seems that there is 1% of 1% of 1% of people who can survive on 6 hours of sleep without noticeable cognitive decline, but they usually do not live long. So they're not sure why, but that's usually what happens. So if you're a human being, you need 8 hours of sleep. And it affects how you recover from your days, your physical activities, your fitness, how strong you are, how much muscle you can build, and how fast you can build it. What kind of hormonal balance or imbalance you have, your testosterone, your estrogen, your thyroid hormones. All of that is affected by your sleep. And obviously, guys, not in a positive way if you are sleeping just 6 to 7 hours instead of 8 hours. Your hunger is affected across the board. If you don't sleep enough, you are eating regularly 4 to 500 calories more, and not from the best foods. Like, believe it or not, guys, most of your cravings for unhealthy food is because you do not sleep enough. I don't have any cravings officially. I've not been having any cravings unless I travel and I don't sleep enough or not good enough, and then I'll be hungry the next day, and I'll be hungry for all this stuff that I know does not work for my body. That's the time when I usually train my willpower and go to bed as soon as possible. So you eat more, you eat worse, you store more fat from the foods you eat. Your happiness, your serotonin levels, like how happy you feel, is also affected by the amount of sleep you get. If you're constantly depressed and you're sleeping for 6 to 7 hours, guys, I guarantee you, try me. Sleep for the next 7 days, 8 to 9 hours, spend that in bed on the same schedule with all the conditions that we will discuss later in this podcast. And believe me, you're going to feel like a completely different person. Your memory, how well you remember things, somebody's names, or how you remember things at work, how well you can recall things. Learning, how well you learn, how well you acquire new skills, and how fast. Your mood, how sociable you are, how willing you feel to approach other people, to change where you live, to explore, to get out there. And also, how much people want to connect with you. Believe it or not, but they also did studies on that just after one night of 6 hours of sleep, people want to communicate with you less. They're, again, not sure exactly for what reason, but it happens all the time to all the people who are sleep deprived. So you don't like people and people don't like you. That's what happens when you don't sleep enough. Idea generation. Like, you might not come up with good ideas, with great ideas, because you simply don't sleep enough and your brain doesn't have enough time to process everything that you learn, to make the connections, physical connections between your neurons, and to give you better ideas. As simple as that. You might be a genius, but if you're not sleeping, you're not going to be a genius. You're not going to have a life or ideas of a genius. And it's all proven, guys. Also, there is this guy, Matthew Walker. He's a PhD. He calls himself a professor of sleep. He has the best book on sleep. So if you want to get motivated to sleep more and better, read his book. It's really an amazing reading, and it's written in a really great way. It has a lot of studies in it, but it's also fun to read. And it also has a lot of practical stuff, how you can improve your sleep. And it also has things like, you can also listen to some of them in his TED Talk that got really, really famous. He's also a great presenter. So he talks about cancer and how just one night of bad sleep will diminish the amount of cells that usually kill cancerous cells in our body. We all have cancerous cells every single day, but they're being killed by those cancer-killing cells. And so just one night of bad sleep reduces the amount of those cancer-killing cells by I believe 80%. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in 80 to 90% range. So can you imagine? You might not sleep enough for, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years, and then you get cancer. And guess what? Your lack of sleep might be the reason, might be the most important reason why you got it. I'm not wishing anyone to get cancer, but that's how serious it is, guys. I tell you this because I do care what kind of health and life experience you're going to have. And so go the fuck to sleep, guys, and get your 8 to 9 hours. And so now we talked about why you want to do this and how ridiculous it is to think that you can survive. Well, you can survive, but you're not going to thrive. That I can guarantee you. How ridiculous it is to think that you can on 6 to 7 hours. So what do you do to sleep better? Because a lot of you are having problems falling asleep or staying asleep. So a lot of you guys are actually waking up in the middle of the night. And a lot of it has to do with two things. Your sleep hormones that are disrupted, like your melatonin, but also disruptions in your environment, like it's too noisy or there is light shining in the middle of the night. And you might not remember that, but you wake up in the middle of the night and you cannot go to sleep because your brain thinks, there is danger, something else. Also, bad diet. Not enough exercise, not enough sunlight in the morning, in the first few hours. That all affect your melatonin and other hormones that affect your blood sugar. And blood sugar regulation, guys, is also very important for your brain to stay asleep, because during the night, your brain does a lot of work cleaning and connecting, making new connections. A lot of things are going on during your sleep, and more studies show that. But your brain does need fuel for that. And so if your body is not able to generate a certain amount of fuel and maintain steady blood sugar, converting your own fats often into energy and maintaining that steady fuel and oxygenation to your brain cells, then you're not going to be able to stay asleep, because for your body, for your brain, it means that you might die. That's why your brain wakes you up and you are not able to fall asleep until you address the issue. And there are a few things that can help with that. Well, first of all, you gotta look at your nutrition. And as soon as possible, you gotta start eating better, your vegetables, your healthy fats and proteins, and remove as much as possible processed foods. Like, there are a lot of details, that's why I study it for a living, and I've been studying it and still studying it for more than somewhere around 2 decades, because I studied early. It's been my passion since I was a teenager. So there are a lot of details, and for each of you, they are going to be different. But for sure, I can tell you that processed, unhealthy food does not help with that. So diet, your exercise, again, sunlight in the morning before the hours of, at least before 11. Get out there for about 20 minutes. It's important for your sleep hormones, guys. The next thing, besides good diet, besides exercise and movement, besides exposing yourself to sunlight, that I do, by the way, every single morning before, for me, it's as soon as the sun is out, or at least before 10 a.m., I go out and I expose myself to sun for at least 20 minutes. And it doesn't have to be sunny, but it's got to be outside. Or if you have a balcony, like, for example, right now I have in my apartment, you can be on your balcony that is completely outside. That can work too. So light exercise, good nutrition, good diet. Also, for example, with a few of my women clients who used to wake up in the middle of the night, but they were like almost always on a diet, and they ate early. So we moved their dinner time 2 hours later. So basically, instead of 5 p.m., they started to have their dinner with healthy carbohydrate and fiber-rich whole foods like sweet potatoes, for example, at 7 p.m. And plus we added magnesium on top of them, 300 milligrams of well-absorbed magnesium. And so their problem disappeared instantaneously. There are different fixes for different people. For one woman, I had sauna help her a lot. Like, just getting really hot and then getting into cold shower helped her a lot. So changing her body temperature affected the quality of her sleep, and she stopped waking up. And by the way, guys, the temperature in your room, the temperature of your body, it matters. It's proven that when your body is able to maintain certain cooler core temperature, I'm sorry, guys, then you are able to stay asleep, and the quality of your sleep improves dramatically. So basically, keeping your room cooler, getting into more or less colder shower before bed will help you to sleep better. Cooler temperature for a room should be somewhere around 18 to 20 degrees centigrade, and usually for guys and for women it's a little bit different. Guys like it a little bit cooler, women like it a little bit warmer. But for that situation, you have companies that provide you special solutions. They call them, for example, Chili Pad is one of the products, and you can make part of your bed cooler and part of your bed warmer. So temperature, it is important. It changes the quality of your sleep. It's always to sleep in a cooler room than in a hot room. You probably already know that. Like, it's really hard to sleep well if you're sweating, right? What else? No alcohol before sleep. Alcohol does not make you sleep well. It makes you unconscious, but being unconscious is not the same as sleeping. It's like comparing when somebody hits you on the head with something heavy and you get unconscious. If you compare that to sleep, then that's the same as drinking alcohol and then getting unconscious and considering that sleep. The only difference is one is mechanical interruption of your function, and the other one is chemical. So alcohol does not help you to sleep well, but it actually reduces the amount of good quality sleep. So no alcohol. An hour before bed, at least, no blue lights, no bright lights. And bright lights are also the lights that are above your head. Really well lit room, especially with blue lights, it's a bad idea before sleep. So at least an hour before bed, you should be in more or less darker room with side lights, with dimmed lights, and not looking at your screen or having a screen blocker that blocks all the blue lights. So an hour before bed, you should do that. And an hour before bed, you should not be having stressful conversations about your work or about anything. You should be getting ready for bed and relaxing more, like doing some stretching, reading a book, talking to your family, something really pleasant and mellow, and something that helps you to fall asleep and calm down, not the other way around. And just, schedule it. I usually schedule 8.5 hours for my whole sleep routine. So this is the very least. I start getting ready for bed 8.5 hours before I have to wake up. And again, I do some stretching. I might read something. I might listen to some music. I might do some journaling. It depends. Also, herbal teas like chamomile tea helps a lot, or drinking some warm caffeine-free liquid helps me a lot to fall asleep when I feel like, I'm still kind of charged and ready for action. So schedule it. And sleeping on the same schedule, it's one of the best tools to improve the quality of your sleep. Even Matthew Walker, PhD of sleep, that's his first advice. Sleep on the same schedule, because your body learns where to release certain hormones and how to prepare you for sleep better. So sleeping on the same schedule is very, very important. And unless it's one in a lifetime situation, or you have to travel, but make sure that it doesn't happen several times over the course of the week. So you need to sleep on the same schedule, and even you going out and not sleeping till 3 a.m. one night will disrupt your sleep for the next 3-4 days. That's just what studies show, guys. So you might think that, it's just one time. It's not just one time. It's going to affect your body and your sleep for several days in a row. That's why I always advise my clients to make peace with the fact that they are creatures that sleep during the night and function during the day. And you should organize your life according to this rule. You're the creation of nature that sleeps during the night. So Organize your social life and everything for that schedule, and make peace with your humanity. You're human, and that's a part of your human condition, sleeping at night for 8 hours. Just make peace with that, guys, and everything after that will become easier to organize your sleep schedule and to make sure you are sleeping well enough. A few other pieces of advice that I personally use all the time, and I see the difference, and it improves sleep of everyone who follows this advice. So earplugs, guys, we live in a noisy world, and even if you don't hear noise during the night, but you are like, you wake up and you're not sure what happened, you just wake up. More often than not, there was some noise, but by the time you are awake and conscious, you don't remember that. So using earplugs, find the ones that you love, and believe me, guys, after a couple of nights of being not so comfortable, you're going to be more than comfortable, and your sleep quality gonna soar. Believe me. And then eye mask. That's another thing. We live in a world where not all of us have a perfect environment of blackout curtains with no lights whatsoever, with being pitch black, dark and black. That's when you look at your hand, you don't see it. That's kind of dark that your body wants. And most of you don't have that. I don't have that, when I move, or even at my house, I never had that. So I use mask. Find good quality masks that doesn't put pressure on your eyelids. And again, believe me, the quality of your sleep gonna be just not comparable. So those are my best advice for sleep, guys. Again, sleeping on the same schedule, leaving 8.5 hours for your whole sleep routine, not exposing yourself to bright light and blue light and screens an hour before bed, and trying to kind of wind down after sunset, keeping your room cool, keeping it quiet with earplugs, keeping it dark with your eye mask. So temperature, we talked about temperature, having a healthy diet, exposing yourself to daylight first thing in the morning, before 10, before 11, as soon as you can, but not afternoon. That's not going to help. So exposing yourself to light, exercising, having a healthy diet that is rich in nutrient-dense food and that does not have a lot of junk foods. All of that will help you to sleep better, and that, guys, will improve all areas of your life. You're gonna feel happier on a regular basis. People will like you more. You will like people more. You will be more adventurous, and you will get more ideas. You will memorize things better. You will learn things better. You will build better muscles. You will be leaner. You will recover better. You will be stronger. You will store less fat, and you will not be as hungry, and you will not have as many cancerous cells that by the end of the day and in a few months and years will matter a lot, guys. So a lot of things and more things are being discovered will happen in a positive way when you start sleeping like a human being. Make peace with your human condition, and as usual, till next time, not just eat better, but also do everything you can to sleep better as well.